okay, in spite of the fact, I think that this idea has no potential as a perpetual motion machine, and ah, I did suspect it would not work for a certain reason. This can't be like the thing that, like, if I go do something as grandiose as compare myself to Isaac Newton, like what preoccupied Newton in the latter half of his life, like alchemy did with him. But then again, given what I now know about nuclear fusion and the capabilities we have potentially for forming small stars and creating new or more of the elements of the periodic table heavier than hydrogen that we might do with. I suspect that our capabilities, insofar as it's possible to build this sort of engine, maybe to make like a nice toy. And this is what I'm sort of imagining. Like you got the trough at the top, and it's like the sort of thing, like in Newton's cradle, that like a scientist would have on their desk, or like you get one as a novelty for Christmas, you know. But they'd sell millions of them, and it'd be like experimental build your own water engine set, and the lesson at the end of like the game or toy or whatever it is, I suppose, is like you learn something about thermodynamics, or you learn something about the nature of work and energy and this sort of stuff, and you yeah, you gain an understanding of physics and physical processes as a result of this. So I suppose, where would the water find its level? It can't be you can't trick nature like that. No, like the larger reservoir, so the highest reservoir would need to be the largest. Yeah. The lower reservoir, it couldn't. We just figured out how to do this without. I think like plumbing in cities on hills and things. Well, this is a system. Like if we could do this, we'd have harnessed it years ago. Like, but then why don't we, for instance, stick a turbine in a train? Just like to put it on that sort of level. Do we seriously not do that? Well, the big concrete walls and the reservoirs like raised 2 feet is what you need for hydro fucking electric, and like just like a big concrete water reservoir, right? Like a drop, a fucking a turbine. Surely we do that already. We must. I know we have like hydroelectric dams all over the place, and like these are really good at like creating electricity. They're very good at creating energy. Hydroelectric is the best form of renewable energy, or it's the most efficient form of renewable energy, and it's, I think, the cheapest as well. And we do it all the time. Like, why can't you just have like a reservoir, in a plastic tank full of everyone's drain water building up on top of a hill, and calculating it such that your tank is large enough and that it would constantly be driving a turbine and flowing away to somewhere else. Yeah. But then the first tank would empty, wouldn't it, too quickly? I think like you'd only get a little bit of electricity from it, I reckon. But then how much would you actually get? You need like the shape of the thing to be such that it builds up. It has to be like this, wouldn't it? But that its capacity is like on an average, such that cities are on hills and stuff. I think like hilly cities like Brazil and places, we don't build much on hills. San Francisco. We just work in San Francisco. Drainage systems that go downhill. Maybe like individual like output from each house is, but I'm thinking like a big reservoir. Maybe like how much water comes out of a reservoir every day? How many reservoirs are there in Britain? millions of liters, I think. Millions of liters. Who knows? Right. Sea reservoirs. UK. Maybe a map even. What would do with hydroelectric? Obviously, I think. Or not even. A big hole. Surely they got hydroelectric in there. They must do. There's a big dam. I would have thought so, yeah. It's maybe the hydroelectric station in this. I've only seen like one with a dam though. I've seen the same reservoir over and over again. Yeah, but what electricity you get from it would be minute. No. Damn up more rivers. Other than again, like in terms of the space we can happily flood in Britain, there's not all that much of it. I'm happy with flooding. People like hip hop. Oh, it's NIMBYism, isn't it? No, I mean, artificial huge reservoir. I guess you just need like tiered tanks collecting rainwater, no? Or is it? Oh, wow, that doesn't work. This is stupidity. Maybe you could get like a toy or something and like have a little drip of water, sort of like a little stream of water just going down to the surface of the water, or like dangling above the surface of the water. Maybe you could create that with it if you control the pressure well enough. It's sealed like one compartment. Like, trap water like that. What happened to it? I'm intrigued by it again. Like, oh no. Oh. What was happened? A really interesting sort of undergraduate question, isn't it? I reckon there's like strange answers to this question. And Newton like bollocks around with alchemy without knowing anything about relativity at all. And like maybe the answer to this is very profound. And like in much the same way as it's somewhat profound, I think that we can affect alchemy using nuclear fusion. But and controlling the reactions with magnetic fields and this sort of thing, and that warp drives might be possible, but I suspect superluminal travel is not possible. And that we can build rockets the size of the Empire State Building and so on. But no, I suspect this water engine is not possible. However, it might create a Bose-Einstein condensate. As the material within the system has become confused by something, like we create a thermodynamically suspect or exotic situation, shall we say, for matter to find itself in. And it is becoming like less well behaved. And like perhaps what we're entering into is a sort of like a sort of situation with matter and energy that's pertinent in the study of quantum gravity and study of the quantum fields involved in something. And we're in essence turning water into a sort of quantum field in an exotic situation, in an experimental situation. And quantum mechanics, maybe if this device is at certain temperatures or what have you, might produce interesting results. However, like it would be like boiling a kettle ultimately, wouldn't it? And you'd have to keep pumping water into it to drive a turbine using this technology to keep it going, because eventually it turn into steam or sort of ice vapor particles and escape the system. And you can't fool nature like that either. But turning like what would happen to the fucking stuff though? With different configurations on this system. Maybe you could make that toy even, like the little water thing like that. That is thermodynamics for you. Yeah, little science present or toy. Or like it become like quantumly badly behaved at certain temperatures in certain configurations of the device. Or you'd create a state of indeterminate pressure in the one system that you weren't, that was contained, totally pressurized. Of course, you can make it out of perspex, so you can see what's going on in there. Or that's a test of quantum theory, isn't it? Actually, see what happens to the air in that situation. What happens to the molecules? You samplism, man. Like, what would happen to the water in space? Obviously, it'd just be floating in space, but what's surrounded? It's be microgravity, like that sort of environment doesn't really sort of count. Maybe work on the moon. Could try that. Could try it on the moon. Everything on the moon is from a war engine. Maybe. Hello, Gamma. How are you? Happy? Enjoying life? What if we just heated up the water? That sort of defeats the purpose of this experiment. This is like very. The engine work then is like, well, the water's heated. What drives a fan, turbine? Like, create a jet of steam. I suppose we have to like burn something then, don't we? But we do that anyway. So like, it involves like using butane or pentane or methane or some chemical burned with oxygen. Oh, I didn't mean a steam engine. No, I meant like, okay, what was really talking? I was talking about an engine driven by water pressure, but water pressure alone. So like it would be a tank with a constant supply of water driving a turbine, filling up yet another tank, creating water pressure necessary in that system to drive water up and around to refill the first tank. Thinking if that's possible or not. Do you think it is possible? We can fill up. Well, we can fill up the first tank more than the second tank. I think we need to fill the first tank up such that a total of 25% of the total space within the system is occupied by air, or no more than that amount is occupied by air, and any amount above that occupied by water adds a sort of bonus to it, to the system, and it works for that reason. Or does it not work at all? Is it just stupidity? What would happen really? Like, both chambers need to be depressurized, so they need to be kept at the air pressure of the exterior, so that it's not an isolated. They're not isolated systems. They're two interacting systems. Is there any fucking reason why this wouldn't work? Yeah. Okay. All right. Not an engine until you add an energy releasing system. There is one because you've got the first tank here, got a turbine pipe, or a pipe with a turbine inside it, rotating and generating electricity. And before the water is ejected and falls into a second tank beneath it, which fills up sufficiently such that there's enough water to go back round through a pipe and deposit water yet again into the first tank above the second tank, the two of which are connected by a turbine. What's rotating the turbine? The water falling through it. What do you think? Really? I was considering this earlier because I was like trying to design a calf shed with like a water tank underneath, one above it, and a pipe with a turbine inside it connecting the two to generate electricity. But the pipe I would funnel the water through back to the first one would have to be at least the size of the diameter of the pipe containing the turbine. So the water drives the turbine. That drives the water. Oh no, gravity is still driving the water. Do you see what I mean? Because it's still gravity in the second tank, causing the water to be able to go through the pipe all the way up and back into the first tank. But obviously the pipe doing so would need to be at least or exactly the same as the diameter of the pipe connecting the two tanks. Do you see what I mean? To accommodate for like an exact through flow of water that way. Think in terms of net energy. I know, yeah. Have you considered salmon? Okay, you can't release energy from GP and then expect water to get back to the top. Sorry, what do you mean? GPE? What does GPE stand for? Grams in terms of net energy, okay? So say both tanks are 2/3 full. The pipe connecting the two tanks is very small compared to the size of the two tanks. I'm talking about tanks about 3,900 cubic feet in carrying capacity. It wouldn't generate much electricity, but it generates some. It actually generates quite a lot, I think, because like two tanks that size, one would generate enough energy to power 43 homes, I think I calculated. So not small. It's something reasonably substantial. It's about £100,000 worth of energy a year doing that. It doesn't take up all that much space. Yeah, so how do you generate an energy output when energy released from the gravitational potential is equal to the gravitational potential stored from getting the water back up to the top? Well, that's easy. So yeah, I mean, well, that's not a problem, really, is it? You know, it's just yeah. Look, okay, right. The thing is, the water in the second tank. We're talking about Christ, 2,000. Sorry, 1,950 cubic meters. Two-thirds of that, which is about 1,300 cubic meters. Yeah, I'm trying to say, like, is it an impossible device? I actually don't know entirely. I'm just trying to make minus x plus x equals something other than. I was just trying to point out the absurdity of the position of the thing itself. Why don't you shut up, Cameron? You think it is possible? Do you? On that subject of minus x plus x equals something other than zero, like I did actually in a video also point out that is a possibility. I have like that it equals one. Like it makes zero make it equals zero, then like everything in like maths is it like not like multiplied by complex numbers, aren't they all multiplied by zero? And it equals nothing. But, I like science. I like science as well. This water engine, like, oh, what the? I doubt it's possible. Honestly, I don't think it's possible. No, nah, I don't. I think there's something fucked with that idea for some reason. But like, thinking like with a small pipe, a very large tank of water, could it be done? I think it deserves to be tested. Is it not easy enough to test that? You just need 2 fish tanks and a hose. Yeah, fish tanks and a hose. That will do this. I feel like fish tank 1 and fish tank 2 at the same time. Yeah, why not? Start from those initial conditions. You follow Jeff over reporting for duty. Like, has like the pain of what I told you, like burned your soul enough to like make you my acolyte. Like, I admire you as a performer. You're a fellow comic, so I'm not reacting the way I would react if you're a random member of the public, and I do sort of know you, Callum. So it's more like I'm reacting to this. Yeah, I'm not getting the police involved. If I didn't know you, or if you were just a fan, for instance, I would contact the fucking police. However, I do know you, and I doubt you're capable of anything really, really stupid. If you see what I mean. You've done stupid things in your time. This is a stupid thing that you're doing at the moment. But like, whatever, man. It's fine. Keep doing comedy. You're like a year in, and you're pretty fucking good. Like, you might go far. Well done. You have a degree though. Fuck off though. The Wright brothers didn't have degrees, you idiot. Thomas Edison didn't have a degree. I didn't have a degree. Yeah, Faraday didn't have a degree. David Hume didn't have a degree. I don't think Voltaire had a degree. Samuel Johnson didn't have a degree. Did he? He got an honorary doctor, I think. I really need to impress on you the importance of the law of conservation. I've been going over this all day. I first of all started off by thinking, I don't think it does violate the law of conservation of energy. For the first of all, the thermodynamics, it's not an isolated system. It is exposed to the outside. It has outlets for air. And like water, why not? Do you see what I mean? Is this the guy that thinks he is a genius and compared himself to historical figures? Do I think I'm a genius? I don't know. Other people actually said I am a genius. Like 1 or 2 people have called me a genius. Like maybe they've been like overly flattering or something. I don't know. But like define genius. What's a genius in your opinion? Like maybe everyone's got the capacity for genius. Like I see actually examples of genius a lot. Like Kmar's Ashcan surgery, it's not regular neurosurgery, is it? It's more like genius neurosurgery. Like, you know, the SR-71 Blackbird was designed by genius. I don't know, it's just like it's an interesting idea to think about because of thermodynamics. This is actually what this whole discussion has been about, like the underlying physics of it. And yes, conservation of energy. Thank you. I'm aware of the laws of thermodynamics. It's like you've entered this really at the wrong point. Like it's like this is in essence what I've been talking about. Could you create quantumly very exotic states of matter using this sort of trickery? I don't know. Or like, does it have some potential as a design or something? Is there some weird application for it that we haven't yet gleaned that will become important in like 500 years time, say? Like Newton and alchemy and him fucking about with that. No, it doesn't. I don't know what you're replying to. Make a video replying to me when you do that. Hiding behind your fucking keyboard. It's not an engine. There's a turbine in the fucking middle of it. Of course it's an engine. It's just a waterfall. You're just a waterfall. Aren't you? Yeah, like, you think you're a waterfall, don't you? Or like a flower or something. Or the humanities flavoured water. I don't know. Horrible people you are. Awful. The first law of engine turbines. Like, what are you talking about? What is the fucking first law of engine turbines? All right, what is it then? First law of engine turbines. No, Google just gives me the first law of thermodynamics, Gamo. There's no such thing. It's like some arcane thing in engineering. You have achieved nothing in life. Jeffro Willow. Callum. The application to Rocketdyne Go. They haven't got back to me. Or like I did receive a notice come up during the application process, I think. It's something to do with nationality and my address. So it said, yeah, they want US citizens only. So I need to get that first. Your dad gave me a grammar. I don't give a fuck. You're a weird, weird guy. You're fucking in essence stalking me. Like, this is like, you're now harassing me. Get the fuck off my channel. No energy has left the system. I guess not, no. You're a public figure, though. Put yourself out there. Like, oh, fucking hell. Block. Why can't I block you? I fucking block you. Remove. Hide user on this channel. Okay, that'll do. You're hidden. Oh, that's a shame. I have no fixed abode. No, I'm a fixed abode. Hidden. Do that endlessly. Yes, now apply that principle to water. What principle? The first law of thermodynamics. Okay, right. No energy is leaving the system as heat. No, it'd be adiabatic, wouldn't it? So the energy would always having to be getting removed from the system as work. That is sort of the point. The energy that would be leaving the system would be leaving the system as sound. Do you understand? Bye! Your mum thinks I should cut all ties with you. I don't know who the fuck you are even. But she loves my banana pudding. Your mum thinks I should... Who are you then, Johnny Banana? You know my mum. And you have ties with me. Who are you? Are you a friend of mine? Do I know you in real life? I'm just a banana. I think you're a spam account. Cut all ties with you. Okay. Hide user. How much of that am I gonna have to do? Like cutting the abuse, like the open abuse of me psychologically on my channel from randomers who, like, maybe is being paid off by my parents. That's possible even. Like to fuck with me or to like monitor me. What? I must be being monitored by someone they know or someone they're going to monitor. Water goes down the pipe and releases X energy and spins the turbine, which takes Y energy out of the system. Also, yes. Your point being, what is your point? How much energy is required to take the water back up to the top? Less than the force in newtons created by was it 2,600 or so cubic meters of water, we would assume. Then again, I don't actually know. Has anyone done the experiment? Has anyone tried this? Is there research on it? I couldn't find any. Or like a power station, a hydroelectric power station that pumps water back up to the top to push it off again. I suppose you just do that. You just have like one on a hill there, water pipe, the water pipe going up to the top into the bottom one to keep that replenishing, falls over, drives a spinny thing, a waterfall, a windmill, sorry, and thereby generates electricity in a motor. Loads of people have tried and failed to make perpetual motion machines. I am aware of that. I'm not actually necessarily expecting to succeed. I just think like with certain configurations, it might be possible. With certain distributions obeyed, it might actually, or would it? And maybe I'm vacillating between thinking it's possible and not possible. I don't actually believe it's possible. I believe it might be possible. Electric Mountain in Llanberis, look it up. Okay, fine. So you're that dude from the Young Liberal Society also watching me. What's the thing called again? Electric Mountain in Llanberis. Is this actually what I'm talking about? Well, yeah, there's a hydroelectric power station. Cheers, but I was like trying to figure out a system for miniaturizing it, whereby it replenishes itself constantly to a sufficient degree that it can run a turbine. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. Okay, Sam, how about this? Continue. Why don't you just type out your whole question? Fucking hell, man. Come on. That pumps water back up to a higher reservoir. What? The Electric Mountain in Llanberis? That hydroelectric power station. Well, yeah, that's cool. I mean, so surely you can miniaturize that then, no? Or create some sort of device that does that automatically. Pumps water back up to a higher reservoir. Okay, cool. Does it not make electricity when it comes back down again? Have you considered wind power? Of course I have. I considered all sorts of things. Definitely, yeah. Let's make this one a Q&A. This will be fun. Yeah. Like, Just ask me anything. Turn this into an ask me anything. Just round it off. I'm tired. I can go to sleep soon. You'd only ever get 75% of energy back out of the system. Yeah, okay, like granted loads of energy is lost, sure. You can man make wind. You can, sure. What's your point? I'm not talking about using electricity to pump it up there. No, I reckon you might have to fill the first reservoir such that you get a through flow of water, filling up the first reservoir again. You need to like fill the whole of the first reservoir, get it going. But oh, what would happen? What would happen to it? I'd love to see what's going on in there though while that process is in motion. It's kind of sort of obsessive thing. But even hypothetically, if it was 100% efficient. No. Let's say no. I want to know the real world answer, not a theoretical answer. I want to see the experiments done to see if that's possible. This is possible. So yeah, the speed of through flow would also have to match the speed at which the water's going through the turbine and the speed of the water had to catch up with itself, wouldn't it? In essence, and reconnect to the surface of the water, thereby rehydrating in exact amounts water into ventilated chambers. What if this shit is possible? The shit I think is possible anyway. Or the other people I don't think would actually dispute so much that is possible, like fusion reactions in space, i.e., creating little stars and so on, getting energy from them with Dyson spheres, and yet like getting the ancillary benefit of a bit more mineral reserves in the mix as well for the reasons we would need those things, and a bit of hydrogen and oxygen rocket fuel. Probably got a lot of like nickel and gold and cadmium and tin and whatnot, and and stuff, manganese, whatnot, iron, and I like using the ocean tides as a power source. Yeah, I know. I've come up with ideas for that as well. Tendrily things under the sea, harness ocean currents, the big jet engine. Thought of that ages ago, but or like Kevlar tendrils reaching into the Earth mantle, containing sort of steel that by the thickness of the Kevlar is insulated such that the steel itself doesn't melt, but the Kevlar can get in there. But the steel is keeping it at boiling point. Cheers, Goldpet. Thank you for following me. And like pump in water, boil it, up it goes again, powers a turbine. I thought of all these things. So like geothermal, but like using like NASA house technology, like the stuff they use to land the space shuttle on. So I don't think the mantle's that hot, is it? It's not like 23,000 degrees. It's more like 7,000 degrees. I think we can insulate against anyway, but still boil something in a tube down thing. So yeah, thought of those things. And also, like, why the hell aren't we making the best out of Yellowstone? It's basically like, I mean, for fuck's sake, like we just boil it like a big. I thought of that like a few months ago. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Like, let's all like try to like pump water down into Yellowstone to prevent it from erupting. Like, why the fuck aren't you using it for like geothermal energy? You just need to like boil water on it, create steam, drive a turbine. That's easy. That's like an open opportunity. Yeah, I thought of this like ages ago, a while ago, like just pumping water into volcanoes, but a pipe in a volcano. No, I didn't think of that actually. No, that's not the truth. Someone commented with that idea, and I thought, exactly, that's a brilliant idea. Like we got open sources of huge heat. We haven't figured out how to fucking harness it. Like, do we think like volcanoes made of like spiders, webs, and magic? And like, who's gonna erupt? It's like, well, yeah, like we can detect that when that's gonna happen pretty reliably. Can't get all the equipment out in time, more than likely, but make hay while the sun shines, don't you? It goes like, oh, I'd love to be like a volcanologist or a seismologist. Actually, there's like few sorts of science that would like not interest me. I don't think like zoologist, conservation. I'd love to do all that research on animals in Africa. It'd be beautiful. I studied gorillas. That's the one I try and do. I try and get a gorilla-based gig, but I digress. The Egyptian bulb, etc. I don't know. I don't know what that reference is, but I'll look into it. Yeah, like fucking hell. What was I gonna say? Yeah, like oh fuck, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, I'd love to do loads of different weird experiments. Yeah, putting pipes in volcanoes. That's it. Yeah, geothermal. Yeah, that's the solution, I reckon. Definitely. Like Hawaii become a big power station on it, just pumping huge amounts of geothermal energy directly to the United States, to California. Hawaii being, yeah, like very swanky and bourgeois. I think it already is anyway. So, but lost scientific knowledge from Egypt, biodegradable tools. Oh my god! Do you know what I found out the other day? Like they probably in the past, like traditional cultures, I think still, but just build in the clay soil. They just build their communities in clay, and like after a few, if that's been abandoned for a few generations, it'll just fill up again, or fill up again the next time it floods, basically, or next time there's a flood, or with too much rainwater. But like they'd have been building civilizations just in the mud, but like quite sturdy mud civilizations, and it might all be gone. Like most of the Mayan civilization probably was like just in bits of in mud, you know, but ornately carved probably, and we don't know how beautiful it would have been either. It might have been gorgeous. Who knows? Who knows? In yeah, like heavier clay silt soils almost. Clay silt. I tend to say that's what the Amazon basin is, like red clay, isn't it? How did they build ancient structures? Like very possibly, I suspect the pyramids, the way they got them that smooth, is like they're carving them directly from clay and maybe even like sun drying it, or like all their construction mathematics would have been based on like the drying rates of like clay bricks and things. And maybe like since it's all been covered with sand, that's a possible solution to that, isn't it not? End of the last ice age, the ice sheet retreats in Europe, or the tundra melts, and then there's fully temperate Egypt, should we say? It's Egypt of rolling fields and greenery and beauty, possibly North Africa. This what is now the Sahara Desert. Who knows what was there? It all turned to dust, it's turned to sand. So it's like very hard to detect like what the past was like. Maybe with like gravity devices that, that we have now to gain accurate underground mapping, we can really begin for the first time. I do like, well, I don't like sound at all. It sounds. you fucking sneaky cunt. You dirty cunt. It's the ting, isn't it? It's the shuffle. Yeah, it's like Anakin's thingy, isn't it? His little jerkin. What a horrible thing. Nah, it's cool as it gets everywhere. And I did call myself a Jedi Knight the other day, so it was like, yeah. But I'm like Anakin though, as a Jedi. I hate Anakin. Like, you just wanted to call me Anakin as a Jedi, didn't you? Like, as a Jedi, I'm not fucking Anakin Skywalker. I'm either Kenobi or I'm Qui-Gon. Those, yeah. My Yoda, I'm like the wisest. Nah, I'm not the wisest, I don't think. What colour saber would you have? Green. Blue, fuck that shit. Green, obviously green. Green's my favourite colour. Like, I wouldn't have a yellow lightsaber, but I do love yellow. Actually, I think green's my favourite colour. It's the most consistent colour of my life. I love green. Yeah. Green fields, green valleys. No, I wouldn't. I don't wear like green clothing all that much though. Or yellow. I do have. Well, you did have John Deere overalls, but that's kind of green. It's green with every color, or it's blue with every color. But should your lightsaber be your favorite color? I want to have a blue lightsaber. I don't want to fucking. Never mind. This is stupid. Those might be possible with fusion. Yeah. Like create a plasma jet that's like makes noise. You must have a small plasma jet. How do you fuel it though? Tritium. I don't know. Anyway, there's enough. Like, okay, yeah, the energy shit is like fucking easy. I reckon. Harness both sides of the force. Yeah, use the light side to rein in the dark side. Balance, middle way stuff. That should be the real Jedi way. But they're like Eastern tradition, like descent from an ascetic sort of thing. There needs to be like just Jedis, grey Jedis, sort of like wise, sophisticated, urbane, brave people who are on the side of justice and peace and prosperity and all this sort of stuff, and actually wouldn't resort to the trickery of the dark side to get what one wants, or what one thinks one wants, but being a good, decent, genuine, and loving person. Like, I have none of Anakin's interests either. I'm not interested in pod racing. I'm not I'm very much interested in botany, more like. And I reckon that's like young Qui-Gon. I could play young Qui-Gon, I think. I'll be good at that, I reckon. I have to grow my hair, obviously, eventually. You have short hair. Like conflict between him and Dooku. Put a bit of beard on me. Like Liam Neeson me up. He's a lot taller than me, though. I'm like, nah, I'm a bit short. I'm a short ass. Nah, maybe that's vain. But like, yeah, I prefer to be Qui-Gon. So I reckon he's like my spirit Jedi, like the spirit animal. I'm like banging Natalie Portman. Like, I'm not that attracted to Natalie Portman, if I'm brutally honest. Scarlett Johansson, I love. Here's the other one. The more recent one. Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, she's lovely. Daisy Ridley's lovely. Gorgeous. Yeah. No, I'm not so into Natalie Portman. She's pretty. She's beautiful, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't feel anything for her. Like loads of female actresses. Actresses. You're right, Annie's mum. Slaves are hot. Who's Annie's mum? Annie's mum? Little Orphan Annie? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who Annie is. Sorry. 3 people watching. I'm gonna call this a day on this one. Oh, this fucking water range is possible. With the right proportion of water reconnecting this on both things. Mrs. Skywalker, is that? You're Annie's mum. Was there anything between Qui-Gon and Anakin's mother? Was she hot as such? She's not exactly hot, is she? She's sort of like dowdy and coarsened by slavery. And sort of, a bit mum-like. No, I don't think that's really true. Annie Skywalker. I hope I'm not Anakin. Annie Skywalker. No, my female name is Bridget. I'm Bridget. Middle class, just a bit shy. So I like things like flowers, kites, and actually aircraft. Flying machines. She talks like a woman from the 1940s. It's lovely. Dreadfully lovely. Dreadfully wonderful. Yeah. A lot of things are possible. I don't think this water hinge is bollocks. So I hope it is or isn't. Like I'm talking about like whether or not a form of Bose-Einstein condensate under certain conditions. Oh, what a strange, strange thing. What could be done with that sort of thing, though? It had something like that that worked. Keep at it, King. Coal pipettes. Oh, you're Callum fucking Pryor again. Oh, okay. Fuck me. Block. Anyway, bye everybody. Have a lovely time out there. See you soon.